for your next match is a decent idea. If the score is like 11-7 or something like that, and people are feeling good, you can like invite people to your party and try to play with them for the next match. You don't want to queue another and they go sure. And then you can just try to keep that energy up. You don't have to add them. Don't have to add. You don't have to add everyone that this happens with, but if you do form these little relationships, I encourage you to invest in them, because that could turn into a friend, that could turn into somebody else that is willing to form a community, and that could turn into like a few matches in a row where you win, instead of hoping and praying that you get people that are willing to contribute in that way. I also want to mention here, so my ideas are all scattered all over the place now. I've lost a lot of my energy, so please forgive me. But another thing to keep in mind is that trying to IGL and build community goes against individualism, and people will be scared. So who's the type of person that should IGL? The type of person, excuse me, who's the type of person that should IGL? The type of person who values team play over individualism. What does Valorant do? Valorant gives individual ranks based on team play. Okay? So the game encourages you to be individualist. Not just the game, but also like our world in general. So going out trying to IGL and make friends goes against individualism, and people get scared. They're like, what are you doing? What is this? Are you like trying to trick me? What is happening here? Why are you doing this? It scares people, genuinely, right? So you kind of have to like hold their hand and walk them through it a lot of the time. If somebody seems like they're very willing to indulge in the collectivism, then like go for it. That's awesome. But generally speaking, people get scared when you do this. This does not just happen in like Valorant. This happens all over the internet. You can try it right now. You can go to anywhere pretty much. And if there's like a collective goal, a team game, especially with individual elos, and people are like butting heads, and you're like, hey, does anyone want to be friends? They're gonna be like, what the fuck? I remember I played factions in Minecraft as a kid, and I always was trying to form alliances with every other faction. They're like, what the fuck? Why would we want to form? I'm like, bro, why not? What purpose is it to be an asshole and be like separated from each other in this way? It makes us weaker, right? So people are like just generally in our world conditioned to be individualist, and going against that will make them scared. But if they're willing to, they'll benefit from it. You'll benefit from it, and you'll also like feel more happy and like connected with the world and people around you. It's nice. It's fun. This is pretty much what I have. I also want to mention, like, if you have one low performing players, right? So if you have a low performing player on your team, this is especially some information that you want to keep in mind if you do play on an organized team, something like Premier, something like a pro game, something if you have a high school or college team, you want to keep this in mind. Low performing players, you want to give them support. So first of all, acknowledge their performance. A lot of them will hate it. They will hate it, especially if it's somebody that you already know that has been performing poorly before. They will hate a lot of them will hate when you acknowledge their performance, but that is the only way that they can do it. And again, it's this individualism, right? It's this like, I'm gonna pull myself up by my bootstraps. I got this on my own. I did this with rags to riches type. You know what I'm saying? That's not real. That's not how this works. You are not a one-person team. You have 4 teammates that all want you to do well. Ideally, right? You would hope that they all want you to do well. So expressing that you want to make them, right? Forming one connection. So this one's you. I'll make this one you because it's green, right? So forming a connection with one of your other players, especially the one that's doing the worst, especially if you're doing good, is going to like bridge the gap of individualism. And they'll be like, oh shit, people are like actually willing to help me, right? So acknowledge their performance, be like, yo, ISO, you're not doing that well. And then like offer support in different ways, right? So how can we offer support to a teammate that's performing poorly, chat? Go ahead. What do you got? How can we offer support to a teammate that's performing poorly? How can I see something I read? Hype him up. Hype him up. Okay, for sure. Hype them up. Yeah, we can hype them up. Hype up their wins, right? So one thing that happens to us when we're in a negative mind state, and this is like something that allowed us to survive in times when we were like hunters and gatherers and stuff, is that we focus heavily on our negative emotions and our mistakes instead of allowing our mistakes to happen and also allowing and noticing our wins, right? So hype up their wins, right? So like point out that they're not making all mistakes. It's not like they're doing absolutely horrible. Even if they're like 0 and 10, it's like getting us onto site, so I said ISO. If ISO's ulting somebody and then you guys are taking space off of that ult, that's a lot of value. There's still a lot of value and good stuff going on there. And you want to acknowledge that because not everything shows up on the scoreboard. And people, again, will be like confused and a bit scared when you say that, but it's true and it's going to help them. And I think they'll appreciate it. Get into join a team play, right? So join a team play, right? Another good one here. So like joining in on a team play is the type of thing where it's like, again, we're breaking up the individualism. We're going like, hey, you're not alone in this. Your opportunities are made by people like us, your teammates, your other abilities, right? So here, I'll throw a flash for you. Where do you want me to smoke for you? Do you want to try lurking, right? So that's another one here. So offer alternative plays, right? So offer alternative plays. Do you want to try lurking? Do you want to like go farm orbs? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Give them alternative plays, even alternative solo plays, so that even if they're doing this on their own, they're still even though they're still making a play on their own, they're still doing it from the perspective that somebody is on their back helping them and wants them to perform well and is like looking to help them get there. So that's a great way to help low performing players. And you can start IGLing off of this alone, right? So another time, when should you start performing? When should you start IGLing? If you have 2 or 3 even low performing players, or even just one, and you form that initial connection, then it's like the rest of your team might see that you're doing that, and you can like start to connect to them as well. Or maybe they'll even reach out to you, right? So it's this thing of like again, it's like, I think that's another theme here that's coming up a lot is like, so if you want to IGL, if you want to have team morale, you need to break the individualism. There it is. Right? So everyone goes into this game thinking that they're about to queue in with 5 players who are or 4 players who are probably going to make the game harder for them. And even if you are making the game harder for your team, you can still offer to them and show them that you're committed to attempting to work as a collective. Break the individualism. This isn't 1v4 v5. This is a 5v5 game. Build that bond between the players. And then from there, if you want to start IGLing, you can go for it. I'm also noticing 2 things, which is like, there's kind of 2 types of IGLs here. I'm writing this out. I'm thinking of this as I'm saying it. But there's like social IGLs, and then there's play IGLs. Right? So a social IGL's job is to kind of act as like the coach in the game, kind of like, okay, let's make sure everyone feels good. Let's make sure everyone is connecting with each other. Let's make sure that our team is cohesive and nobody feels like alone in what they're trying to do, or nobody has to be alone in what they're trying to do. And then there's the play IGL, which is like, maybe that's the one over here that's like, okay, let's split A. I need to see KO and Omen over here. I need to see Jet and Phoenix over here, right? So you can play both. I think most people are expected to play both. I like doing social IGLing more than play IGLing, if you could have guessed. But both are important, and a lot of IGLs do both. And then the last one here is pondering time. So I don't know how long has this been going? Like a hour 13? Okay. So we can make this quick then. So important concept, right? Valorant does this thing that makes it different from a game like Overwatch. So let's take Overwatch for example. If you have Overwatch, here's a timeline for Overwatch. Right? So at the start of an Overwatch match, it's not very exciting, and then it ramps up pretty quickly. There's a team fight, and then it like kind of slows down and goes back up, and then slows down, and then oh fuck, they're the ults, and then okay. This is generally an Overwatch match, right? So let's look at Valorant. Okay, here's Valorant. Okay. So this is the pre-round. This is what makes Valorant so different from all the other games, or like what makes most tac shooters different from a lot of other games, right? Is that you have this time in between here where nothing is happening. And it's so interesting because I have a lot of friends that love Overwatch, love Marvel Rivals. I don't like playing those games that much. I also have beef with them, but like this is so much more fun to me for Valorant, that it's like there's this time in between where you have to ponder, where you're forced to like kind of sit with yourself or with your team. The way you use this time is arguably more important than how you use the actual game time. Okay? Now I'm going to get rid of the Overwatch one. And I'm going to, hello, we need to all move together. Remember, collectivism, not individualism. Thank you. Okay. So here's one thing. We'll just keep these in mind. Ready? If you're not playing, you're pondering. As an IGL, 90% of the things you do are decisions and mental based, whether it's like managing the mental of your other teammates, managing your own mental, trying to fuck with the mental of the enemy team. Your job is mental. You guys know this. Zeno said it was 70% mental, right? So this is what you do. Okay? Is that why in pro play they sometimes take a timeout to extend the pre-round? Yeah, that's why timeouts exist, is so that they can extend pre-round. You also get to talk to your coach during timeouts in pro play. Absolutely. I think they said they were going to add timeouts to comp and they never did it, which is upsetting, or they haven't done it yet. But whatever. But yeah, this is what this is, right? So you should be managing. So first of all, manage your mentality. This is the first step. If you're going to be pondering in between rounds, manage your own mentality. I am a mentality coach. This is like the first thing I will teach people when they come to me about mentality, is like dealing with this in between space. If you cannot manage your mentality in between these spaces, you need to reevaluate, because as an IGL, again, you're trying to manage everything else too. So you need to have your shit down first, right? So what was up here? Your job as an IGL is balancing selfishness and selflessness, right? So this is the selfish part. You need to have your own mentality locked in. Okay? Number 2, notes and testing. So if you've been seeing that what the enemy team does a lot of rounds is they'll like walk up B, and then they'll throw a it's an Astra, and they'll throw two smokes mid, they'll walk up B, and then they just have like a Cypher over here on A. Wait. Going back to 80. Boom. Okay. Right? If you see this, you should be taking notes of this. So if you're in the pre-round or if you died, right? So sometimes you die right here. I'm gonna try to draw a little skull thing. That's pretty good. I fuck with that. Chat, do you fuck with my skull? Anyways. Right? So now, guess what? You don't just have the pre-round to ponder. You have all of this. I'm just going to delete this and draw it. You have all of this to ponder. Or sorry, like this. To ponder. W skull. Thank you. So you should be taking notes of what you see. Because if you catch that every round they're putting this star here, this character walks up, and Cypher is on A. So then you should be taking notes of that. Let's say, okay, how is the enemy playing? Right? How is the enemy playing? How is my team playing? Right? So is your Phoenix aggressive? Thank you. Is your Phoenix an aggressive player? Is your Killjoy a little aggressive? Is your Killjoy putting down flank turrets? Do you need to tell them to do that? What else? Is your team pushing out on when you guys have the site and they're just dying for free for no reason, right? How is my team playing? How's the enemy team playing? And then what can we try, right? So this is the cool thing about Valorant, is that you have all of this time. If you die in the first part of the round, you have all of this time right here to ponder what you can be doing and testing, right? And some rounds, you're not going to get anything. Some rounds is going to be like useless here. But that's why you have the testing time. Some rounds are just for learning. And that's actually the next segment here, which it's that important, which is that some rounds are just for learning. Whether that be testing, whether that be gaining information on a save round or something like that, a lot of rounds are just seeing how the enemy team is responding to different situations. All right? That's it. There's like nothing else that you can really do. Because there's a lot of, in fact, some matches, right? So I can put this in the fine print real quick. And matches. Some entire matches are just for learning. This is the nature of Valorant. The whole point of this elo system over here that we keep talking about is that it wants you to get to a 50% win rate. If you are at a 50% win rate, there are going to be many matches where you just can't win. What is the point of playing those matches? You learn from them. It's the same as watching the match when you've already died. Right? Your RR might go down, but your skill can still go up. Does this make sense? Some rounds and some matches are just for learning. So lock into that for sure. And then the last one I'll put down here is don't be afraid to get silly. That's it. A lot of the time we take this game too easy. So here's something that I talk to a lot of students about, right? So here's a problem. I'm gonna do some stuff right here, okay? A little bit of a side rant. This is going to be the last thing. If you have any questions, get ready to write them in chat. That's supposed to be plat, by the way. This is what diamond looks like, right? Probably. This looks like another skull. Anyways. That's, oh my god. It's fine. I'm not here as an artist. Well, I'm not here as a visual artist with my mouse. Okay? You guys get, you get the idea. All right? Oh, wait, this is better. That's better. Okay. Now, say, for example, you are a gold player. Okay? Is this Bejeweled? God damn it. We're not doing a Bejeweled stream today. We're doing a lesson stream. So here's the thing, right? Valorant is based on the idea that this is a rank of skill. The higher up you are, the closer to Diamond you are, the closer to Radiant you are, you're more skilled. The thing they don't tell you is that there is actually another spectrum that flows the opposite direction. Okay? Now, say, for example, you are this gold player right here. And since you get a 50-50 win rate, sometimes you play with players that are like plat level. And sometimes you play with players that are like silver level. Now, you might find that in silver levels, you actually do way better. You do so good, right? In plat levels. In plat lobbies, you're like, oh, I'm locked the fuck in here. You know what that probably means? That probably means your skill level is about where plat is or higher. That's great. Now, you might have a problem where you're actually losing the most when you go up against silver players. This is because of the other side of this spectrum. This, my friends, is the chaos spectrum. As much as skill goes in one direction, chaos flows in the other direction. Radiant players are so much more predictable than Iron players. Who fucking knows what an Iron player is going to do? They don't even know what they're going to do. This is why, if you've ever seen it, and you can search it up right now, tens in bronze or silver lobbies, he gets shit on. Tens gets absolutely destroyed in silver lobbies. It's insane, right? And the reason is that he's expecting order and scale from them. And all he's getting in response is chaos, chaos, chaos. And it's a little snowman. All he's getting from them is chaos. So here's my suggestion to you over here, chat. Don't be afraid to get silly. The game is skill, yes. It's also chaos. And remember the chaos that you have 4 random people from anywhere in your region that are playing with you, supposedly trying to help you win. All of which, by the way, are likely individualists who are more focused on how they're playing or how you're making them play or making them feel than how their team as a whole is playing. That's what we're trying to break out of here, right? It's silly. The situation we're in is insane. This is like comedically evil of a situation for somebody to be put in. And on top of that, remember this, we're doing this as a not cis white man. We're doing this as a minority that is often targeted for harassment in these games. If you don't get targeted for harassment, you're just less likely to get collaboration because of who you are. It's impossible. You're telling me that you're going to get through this entire impossible situation without getting silly as hell? No, you're going to get real silly with it. You're going to get real silly, you're going to make some friends, and you're going to try your fucking best. And hopefully, you at least are happy in the rank that you are. You at least enjoy playing the game in the rank that you are. That is my passionate rant about the absurdity of trying to do good in Valorant, trying to IGL in Valorant. Hydrate, thank you. All right. Questions? I plug now. Questions? Wow, this has been such a great workshop, Gabby. Is there anywhere I can go to support you and learn more about Valorant Vitality coaching from you? Absolutely. Check this out. Linktree/backseat.gabby. Here, you can get all this stuff. I have a YouTube channel where you can check out some videos. I did an interview with my friend Gracie. We have some videos here about climbing like an anime protagonist, how the game is made to piss you off, a guided meditation even. You have a Discord, which I don't think I'm supposed to tell people in Galorants to join other Discords because they can't moderate those. So at your own discretion for that. Galorants is not responsible for anything that happens in my server or on my YouTube channel or anything like that. And if you want extra content, exclusive guides, more guided meditations, infographics and guides that you can refer to mid-game, you can support me on Ko-fi. That also makes it so that I can keep giving people free coaching. Free coaching? Oh yeah, I do free coaching in the Discord. I also do free coaching for Galorant. So if you're just in Galorant, you can message me, Gabby, and I do this free mentality coaching, and that's pretty much it. Everything makes sense. Okay, cool. Very glad. I don't think the VOD will be uploaded to Galorant. If the VOD does get uploaded somewhere, I will tell Galorant. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. Here's some things for you, chat. Get a library card. Support trans kids. Actually, no. We're gonna protect trans kids. And stay safe, stay creative. All right. That's it. That's it. Goodbye. Thank you for coming. Glad I could help. You guys have been awesome. Bye.